And greetings once again to you, music lovers, thrill seekers, conversationalists all across the fruited plain. Great to have you here. A busy broadcast week staring us straight ahead. Telephone number if you want to be on the program, 800-282-2882. And the email address, lrushbo@eibnet.com. From the Politico story, as some people are telling me, wait a minute, I read that story. There's nothing in there about Romney saying Obama's a nice guy. He's just incompetent. Here's the reference. This is what the article says. To press the point, it's a quote of a Republican official, unnamed. To press the point, he said the GOP would even try to turn Obama's still high personal favorability numbers back on him at the convention this week by making the simple case to voters, nice guy, failed president. Now, Romney's not the one quoted as saying that, but a high-ranking official describing the convention theme is describing what the intent of the convention is. And Bob Dole out there with all this, Republicans need to get more mainstream. They need to do what I did, which was lose. Well, make no mistake. I mean, the people running the show do not want. I mean, they'd love to bring Obama's personal likability numbers down, but they don't know how to do it. They are, I mean, it is, they don't quote Romney. That's their characterization of what Romney said, but they don't quote Romney as saying that. But Romney has said it on at least two occasions in the campaign that Obama's a nice guy. He's just in over his head, and he's made it plain that that's going to be the way he's going to go after Obama. For Romney, the Republican establishment, whatever, they don't think there's anything to be won by being critical of Obama. They just don't. And so they're not going to be. And they're going to tackle this mess we're in by just saying he doesn't know what he's doing. He's wrecking the country. I hope they don't go so far as to say he's trying his best. I hope they don't say that. But what they're going to say is he doesn't get it. Now, Romney has said, in addition to this, that Obama's experience is not the American experience. And that's true. And boy, I'll tell you, if there's one point that Dinesh D'Souza's movie makes, it's that. This really is the 2016 movie that played in 1,000 theaters, and it's shocked the Hollywood media because it's doing so well. I think it came in number 3 over the weekend, maybe 4, right in the area where I thought it would, and so predicted. The great thing about the movie is one of Dinesh D'Souza's best lines in the movie is that he made the mistake when he was initially assessing Obama. Is we try to look at Obama within the context of American history, and he doesn't have one. Obama doesn't have an American history to be compared against. And by that, D'Souza means that the people who have influenced and mentored and taught Obama have had a global view of this country, which is that it's unfairly large, unjustly a superpower, that it has cheated and stolen its way, the nation has, to its status. And some of this needs to be given back. Some of what we've taken from around the world needs to be given back. And by the way, the same thing applies to the successful in this country. They have not acquired their wealth in a just and fair, quote-unquote, manner. And it needs to be given back, too. So the way to understand Obama is to understand the way people that really not too crazy about this country around the rest of the world look at it. And once you understand that, then you'll understand Obama. Now, I should also point out that in the movie, D'Souza does not expressly criticize Obama, but the conclusion that any viewer would draw is inescapable. It's not that he's in over his head, and it's not that he may be a nice guy. It's that he does have a different worldview. He has a totally different impression of what this country is and what it should be. I don't know what's so hard. We've got the worst economy we've had since the Depression. We've got people out of work. We've got natural disasters all over. We want to talk about Hurricane Katrina. Look at the droughts and the floods and the fires and everything. And Obama hadn't done jack about any of it. And yet he supposedly gets automatically all this credit for compassion. Tell that to all these millions of people without jobs and with no hope for jobs and jobs with decent wages and payroll. Everything is out of phase by 180 degrees. So I really think that it's a mistake here to try to kid glove this, because the damage that's happening in the country, the damage being incurred here is real, and there are ways out of this. Pretty quick, pretty fast ways out of this too, but not 4 more years of this. 4 more years of this, and who knows the length of time it's going to take to rebuild and recover. It's going to have to happen at some if this country is to ever be what it was, and that remains the large question. But I'm still getting grief, Snurdly, still getting grief from people. Even Greta played this on her TV show Thursday night. Karl Rove disagreed with it when I said, we can handle 4 more years of Obama. The thing we can't handle is 4 more years of people that would elect him. And Karl Rove, well, I would have a little bit more nuanced view of it than that. I just think it is that Obama has not announced a second-term agenda. He doesn't dare announce his second-term agenda. That's why he hasn't announced it. He doesn't dare. This guy told us what his plans are for the second term. It would be sayonara. He didn't announce the first-term agenda. Did he tell us any of this? Well, I take it back. He did warn the coal industry. They just didn't listen to him. Not in the campaign. He's in private meetings that were on videotape with the union guys. He told us what is going to happen to health care. But he didn't, as part of his campaign. You're right. As part of his campaign, Obama didn't tell us any of this. That's a good observation. Our last caller, the guy from Fort Myers, whose mother got him the autographed newspaper story of Neil Armstrong, he said that the riveting part of the speech, Neil Armstrong told the crowd at the Chamber of Commerce years ago now, that they didn't think they were going to get back. They didn't think they were going to get off the moon. That doesn't surprise me in the least. For those of you who weren't alive then, or were too young to really get into it, it was that the whole process of getting to the moon, the way gravity, where there's not enough fuel to get there, that was strictly great mathematical calculation using the Earth and Moon's gravity to get there. Then you've got the lunar module orbiting. It's got enough fuel to get it out of lunar orbit and back into the Earth's gravity, but it doesn't have enough fuel to make major course alterations to go get a lunar module that launches off target. It really was astounding. And this tiny little rocket that was to launch the lunar module back into orbit to rendezvous with the command module up there, that was the real dicey thing. If that didn't launch, if that rocket didn't fire, then they were stranded. They would be there forever. But I had not heard Neil Armstrong ever say, I'd never heard anybody say that he had said that they didn't think they'd get back. That makes it even more chilling to me. And as I told you in the first hour, William Safire had a speech all written for Nixon in the event they were unable to get off the lunar surface and get back. I have been to the Air and Space Museum. Oh, yeah, the Apollo cap, the Mercury, the Gemini, the Apollo capsule. Oh, the Mercury cap. In fact, you know, the Mercury capsule, the original design didn't even have a window. They were afraid to put a window in it structurally. And the astronauts insisted on it. They insisted on a window just to be able to see. They wanted some visual ability to pilot that thing in case they had to, rather than just rely totally on instruments. So they went back and they put a window in it, but the window is tiny. And I remember when John Glenn was his first man to orbit, when Glenn re-entered the atmosphere, outside that window, he saw the fireball that is re-entry, and they didn't know what it was. And he thought the capsule was coming apart. He thought he was dead. And all it was the normal fireball of the heat shield, throwing off sparks and a giant red glow and material falling off the thing and flying by. But so many things for the first time they saw didn't really, they knew about the heat of reentry, but they had no idea what it was going to look like, and that was the only way they did was with that window. But yeah, that stuff was tiny. Even the 3-man Apollo capsule was tiny. It had to be for the weight, just to get it off the ground here and in orbit. It's all fascinating. Space program was just had me riveted. As a young kid, the space program had me riveted. No, I never wanted to be an astronaut, but it just the whole thing, how it happened, the way they made things work, had me totally captivated. I got to take a brief time out here, my friends. We'll come back and we got some more sound bites to weave into the magic that is today's program, as well as more phone calls from you.